tax a nigga brain for nine. Some real brain, I ain't claiming nothing, but I'm locked in with that 6 there. Get your touch in public. You ain't my bitch, why you worried about what bitch I'm fuck they left me behind?
Alright, y'all. Cameron LA, you hear me back with another video. This story time is gonna be my first story time, and the story time I want to give y'all is about how I almost got shot. Alright. So let me take y'all back to this like 2021. So if y'all don't know, I'm in the military, you hear me? And after I was done with training, I had went home for a little break before I was getting sent overseas to South Korea. Let me take y'all back to how the day started, if I remember that. Shit, I think it was like a Sunday. It was a Sunday. Me and my son came back from Lafayette early in the morning. It was like 7 in the morning. I think I probably went to sleep for like an hour or two. And mind you, I just came home from like training, because I'm doing this before I'm finna get sent overseas. So we trying to turn up. It's like my second time coming home since I've been in the Army, you hear me? So I done been in about a year at this point. It's like my second time coming home. And if y'all know about in the military, y'all know like if you active duty, you never at home for too long, so you gotta make the most of your time when you at home. So every day we doing something, and it's my second time. So we had went to fuck with my friends that we from high school that go to UL, and we was up there till about 5, 6 in the morning. We drove back, and the drive back like an hour. So I honestly ain't make it back in till like 7 o'clock in the morning. So I went to sleep for like 2 hours because the next day was a Sunday event that's going on. So it was a rapper that had a music video, and he do it at this apartment complex. So we had to get up in time for that. So at first I went to go to sleep, but I took like an hour or two nap. You heard me? I hit him up, I'm like, what you on? You ready? He like, yeah, I'm finna get in the shower. I say, bet. So I get up, get ready, get in the shower, brush my teeth, all that. So I go from my house, I drive this shit. Now at the time, his place was like a meetup spot. You know how every friend we got a meetup spot. We go meet up at their apartment, then we go to where we going. His apartment, that was the meetup spot, you hear me? So we all pull up to the meetup spot. It's him and my other son, you hear me? I ain't gonna name my other son, but it was him and my other son, you hear me? We like been on ratchet shit, you hear me? So we gonna go to all like the nigga events, you hear me? Now my other son, he'll go, but that's not really his cup of tea, you hear me? Cause you know, niggas in Baton Rouge tend to do stupid shit at parties, you hear me? And I understand anybody that don't want, cause that's really like the safe thing to do, just don't go out, you hear me? But I'm trying to have fun, you hear me? So I'm gonna go outside, you hear me? But anyway, we end up pulling up to like the first location. And that bitch was jumping. I'm finna play a clip for y'all just so y'all see. See? Now y'all see how loud that bitch was. I'm finna tell you how it happened. So like I said, at every BR party, bro, niggas gonna come with that bullshit. Like motherfuckers gonna always put on the flyers, leave the BS at home, but you know niggas gonna come with the bullshit, you hear me? We went to the car to get something. I can't say that, but we went to the car for something, you hear me? And we come back. And while we come back, as soon as I was so mad, bro, because as soon as we left, why these hoes got to fighting? And I wanted to see, you hear me? But hoes had got to fighting and the police came and they had shut that bitch down. Now the police was kind of already outside pulling, I don't know if it was like security or what, but they wasn't really fucking with us. But then when that happened, they kind of had shut the whole shit down. After that, I think they moved to another location. I'm not sure if we went to that location or we didn't. I think I haven't just something to eat. I was gonna go try to find another move or something. But then I had heard the second location that got shut down. We was on the way over there. That's what it was on the way there. I had went to Raising Cane's. My other son, I think he wasn't there at the first location. The other son who don't like being around that ratchet shit, he was somewhere else. But he was gonna come pull up on us. But that bitch had got shut down. They had like another location. So we pulled up to the last location. Now the last location, the hood. So like I said, my son don't like being around that shit, so he started getting nervous, you hear me, once he started seeing what we pulling up at. You hear me? He like, nah, let's not go there with you. Well, I kind of thought he was kind of nervous because, you know, that's not his normal environment. So you gonna be nervous like the first couple times, but like, you know, he's seeing niggas with guns out, all types of shit. But we know, with my other son, we used to this. Because that's literally every party you can go to, you hear me? It's not about like who got guns, who don't got one, you hear me? But you kind of got to be cautious about what be going around you hear me? Like, even if you ain't in no smoke or nothing, like, that's just how that rack is, you hear me? You never know. We go outside anyway. As soon as we walk up, hoes twerking everywhere. Everybody like this big ass huddle. We all cooling. Probably like 20 minutes went by. I'm getting behind some ass, you heard me? Oh, throwing that ass on me. And then, but we all hear them. They shooting.
It ain't them niggas that act hard. Oh, shit! It's the ones that put the slugs in your ass and tell your ass to not.
So when that happened, everybody got to getting down. I'm running, you know, trying to take them a little cover or whatever. Now, you say about my other son, you hear me? Nah, every time we somewhere, and bitch ass nigga, you know who I'm talking about. Every time something happen, every time we someone they start shooting, this nigga think it's a game. You like to play, you hear me? Why they get to shoot? You hear me? Like, this nigga act like he can't get shot. Like, he swear he a gangster because every time when they start shooting where we at, this nigga won't start playing. You hear me? Man, they get to shooting. Why this nigga over here standing up trying to see who's shooting? A normal nigga, when they hear gunshots, they gonna try to see who. They gonna try to see who, they gonna try to get to safety. No, this nigga won't see who's shooting, like nose ass nigga. You hear me? This nigga trying to look to see who's shooting. I look at this bitch ass nigga, I'm like, man, if you don't get your bitch ass down. And it turns out wasn't nobody even really shooting. I think they was just saying that shit, cause I ain't hear no gunshots at all. So you know me. You know how they say, some niggas act like the world revolve around pussy? Yeah, I'm some niggas. So, right after that shit happened, I'm right back trying to get twerked on. They started playing Vicky Lowe. I'm right back trying to get on the hoes, you hear me? So, I'm back, you know, doing what I do. Was, you know, vibing for about probably no longer than 10 minutes after that shit. And I might be miscalculating the time because this shit happened like 2 years ago, like, because it was about to be 2024. Not even 10 minutes after that shit, I don't know what I was doing. Probably trying to fuck with a hoe or something, I don't know. But I turned around. And you know, usually, when you at certain events, motherfuckers gonna be like, they shooting, but ain't shit gonna happen. But you know when somebody like, you know when it's the real deal, you hear me? I turned around, I looked at this nigga. He made this face at somebody, you hear me? I don't know who the nigga was I seen or who the nigga he made the face at, but I just know that he looked somewhere he made a face. And he had started clutching. And before I turned around to even see who he was looking at, all I heard was, man, everybody got to get down, you hear me? Now we in this small ass area and it's buku niggas, you hear me? Like, it's buku people in this small area huddled up. You hear me? So it was like a little truck that was over there because where we was at. We all got to hitting the ground, trying to run around the truck, trying to, you know, get, well, if you was already behind the truck, you was already on that side of it, you ain't had to really move. You just had to get down. But if you was where I was, you had to get down and then get a son's at. Like, I know the one who right on side me was, he right on side me. But my other son, he was somewhere else. But we get down, we run around the truck, we get down. It's me, one of my sons, I don't know what my other son at. It's some females though, and we all on the ground like huddled on top of each other. Now I'm trying to get up and get the fuck, but I can't cause this nigga holding me down and I'm on top of everybody. Like everybody that's holding down, I'm on top. I'm seeing niggas run around and I just keep hearing shots. And you know how they say it's gonna feel longer than what it is just because you probably nervous or whatever. Now, them niggas was really shooting for a long ass time, you hear me? It had to been at least 3 minutes. 2 minutes don't sound like a long time, but 2 minutes of active gunfire, like, yes, you hear me? They blowing that bitch. I'm trying to get the fuck, you hear me? Like, cause in little increments, they'll stop for maybe like 5 seconds if that. This nigga holding me down, you hear me? Now, let me tell you why I felt so pussy, bro. Cause the hoes was acting more gangster than the niggas. They was keeping that composure. Man, I'm talking, I'm in this bitch nervous. Now, I'm not showing it, but I'm nervous as a bitch. They like, nah, y'all got it, it's cool, it's cool. They like, you know, I've been in these situations before, like, it's cool, like, just relax, like, you good. They had one girl, she was pregnant. I don't know what the fuck she was doing though. But she over there on the ground. I'm feeling bad for her on the slick. And we all just kind of just waiting that shit out. They shooting so close to us, you hear me? Like, now my body hurting, but I'm not, well, let me not get to that yet. They finally stopped shooting. So we had got up and went to like this little room that was behind, like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. It was like a little room that was in that bitch. We go in a little establishment. Now we all in like this little hallway almost. Now I'm at the back of the hallway, me and my son, so it's like, now I'm kind of nervous and not a nigga that just walked in with a gun. You hear me? Well, a couple niggas got their shit out, but one nigga just walked in and again, you could tell he was probably like in the midst of all that shit. And you could see this nigga had a bullet hole in his arm, so that nigga had got shot. But I'm like, damn, I hope a nigga who they shooting at, whoever shooting don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't come in this bitch. Cause if they get to shooting, if they miss who they shooting at, I'm at the end of the hallway, so the bullet gotta end at me. You hear me? The wall behind me. But I'm nervous, so somehow we end up getting about that bitch. We all end up, I think we end up leaving like after it kind of slowed down for a while. And I try to run through the back. And we see the police behind it. They arrested some nigga. That nigga was trying to leave. I think he had jumped the fence. They arrested that nigga. They put him in handcuffs. So we ain't go that way. You say, fuck all that. I'm calling my partner. Cause I don't know where this nigga at. He ain't pick up. So I'm like, no, I hope they ain't get my nigga, you hear me? I hope they ain't get my nigga, you hear me? I'm smiling about this shit now, but at the time I'm really nervous. I'm like, man, we don't know where this nigga at. But we know he had to been over there, but we ain't heard from him. So we like, I hope they ain't, you hear me? So I'm calling my son. He ain't pick up the first time. I'm like, oh shit, bro. Like, no, I hope they ain't, no, man. I hope they ain't get my nigga, you hear me? We call him again after he ain't pick up the first time. And the second time he actually picked up the phone. So I'm like, okay, he cool. Man, this shit's so funny because you hear that nigga running to the car. You hear? You know when you on the phone with somebody and you hear the wind, you hear me? Man, all you hear is the wind. This nigga breathing hard as a bitch, running. He like, man, I forgot what that nigga was telling me, bro. I'm out this bitch. I'm out this bitch. You hear me? Nigga breathing hard as a bitch, you hear me? He got to the car. I don't know if you ever heard a nigga say this. Don't ever go to no party in slippers. Ever. Don't ever really leave the house. Like, you can go leave the house in slippers, you going to like the stove, but if you finna go out around people, don't ever go in slippers. Cause you might need to run. You see what I'm saying? My dumb ass went in slippers. And I'm already knowing this, but I went in slippers. And then I just ran back to my car. Now I think back to how my son was like, I don't think we need to go fuck with this. And we was like, all looking at that nigga like he was crazy. When we got in the car, this nigga was like, I told you, you heard me. Now that's crazy because we thinking, you know, cause me and my other son, we used to this type of shit. So we ain't really thinking nothing of it, but the one time we went there, you hear me? Not expecting no shit. That's the time it had happened, you hear me? So sometimes, you know, moral of the story, just be careful, you hear me, I guess. Nigga was so tired, bro. Now my body was hurting. Now I was scared to really check myself, you hear me? I'm not realizing the time it's from probably hitting fucking concrete ground, trying to get loose from a nigga holding on to me, all type of shit. My body hurting. Now I'm scared to check myself because I'm hoping I ain't get shot. You hear me? All my sons, they check themselves. I check myself. I'm good. Now the son that was nervous to come there, that's the one who was with me. You hear me? The whole time. He ain't the one who I thought had got shot. That nigga was bleeding bad. Now I was scared they had shot that nigga. You hear me? Cause we was right in the vicinity where they was shooting, like, or at least it sounded like it. Like we right there. You hear me? Like we hearing the bullets hit shit in. You know what I'm saying? Ricocheting it. You know what I'm saying? So I had really thought he had got shot because this nigga bleeding bad. But it wouldn't end up really being, he was just cut up. Like he had cut himself up all in the concrete and shit. Yeah, them niggas bleeding all under his chest, all his knees. Yeah, but he ended up being straight though. I was fucked up about that shit though. Like for like a little minute. Not like too long, probably like a little week or so. I got on the interstate. I got to drive and I missed my exit by like 4 exits. I'm not even paying attention to the road. I'm just driving. A nigga tired. A nigga just in, I don't want to say disbelief, but nigga just duh. You hear me? Like I said, I was going to career right after this. So I ended up staying the rest of the time I had left while I was at home on my little break. I went to Korea. I ain't lying. Like I kept replaying that motherfucking time. I kept replaying that moment in my head like buku times, just like thinking like damn, bro, like I could have really got shot. That's all that really happened. It wasn't too big of a story. Just kind of just a little story to give y'all, you heard me, just so I can start getting more active on YouTube, you heard me. Y'all go subscribe to a nigga shit though. You know, like, comment, share if you will. Go fuck with me on that gram. Go fuck with me on TikTok, you heard me. You know, keep sharing my shit. We trying to go up in 2024.
Snatch a nigga brain tonight.